All right, what's up, fantasy book lovers? This is the Full Phantology 5 here with our November month recap and kicking off our new competition for the month of December, which is going to be top fantasy book maps. We are riding the wave of success on the top fantasy book covers competition that took place in November, and we're going for another visual component. So if you're listening to the podcast, tune into the YouTube video if you want to see, get an actual visual of the maps that we've selected. If not, we'll put them out there on Discord, Twitter, whatever, so you can see that as well and get some inspiration for your selections. Okay, so you guys ready with your maps? Are we going a little more creative this time? I mean, there's a few big ones, but we can find some good ones out there as well, some hidden gems maybe.
Yeah, I like my selections.
Yeah, gone for a more personal touch.
Okay, wait, time out. Before we got on recording, Jake literally said, I was Googling the best fantasy maps. So I don't know how much of a personal touch Jake can claim here.
No,
Maybe you just needed a primer, prime the pump a little bit.
I went for maps with a more personal touch to them. Not me personally. I haven't touched them.
Jake likes to touch all those maps super personally.
Okay.
Jake doesn't like a map unless he can get his hands on it.
Got to get your hands on a good map. Yeah.
I mean, that's not wrong, right?
It's not.
Okay, let's actually start with our month of November recap. We'll do that quickly and then go into the maps because I know that's what everyone is excited for. So November is the month we've been looking forward to for a while. Kind of sad to see it pass because it means that a lot of the excitement, or maybe some of the excitement, is in the rearview mirror now that we've read a lot of Rhythm of War. But there are still a few other things that happened as well. We had Fires of Vengeance come out by Evan Winter, which we haven't, at least I personally have not got to yet because of all the excitement around Rhythm of War. But I guess that's the elephant in the room. Should we just talk about that first?
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Yep.
So we've been covering each part individually, and that means we have 3 episodes out as it stands on today, November 30th. We'll cover episodes, or we'll cover parts 4 and 5 as well, and then do a episode with our full reactions, non-spoiler and spoiler. A lot of coverage around Rhythm of War. Probably like way too much coverage. You probably hate us by now if you like Phantology but don't like Sanderson.
Yeah, but it's pretty much recognized in the fantasy world as having, a lot of weight to it. So I think people are pretty understanding. And we try and give a lot of weight to lesser known books as well and give airtime to that. So I think this is just us indulging our love of the mainstream epic fantasy right now. Well,
yeah,
I think
it's no secret. We like the book.
We've been pretty constrained too. I think Sanderson, at least that's who got me into fantasy. And so up until this point, we've only reviewed I think Mistborn, the first book. That's like the only other Sanderson that we've done. So as well as
other than the other
Stormlight
Stormlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done Emperor Soul with our buddies.
Friends Talking Fantasy.
Yeah, Friends Talking Fantasy. Yeah.
That's true. But anyway, I mean, so in terms of how much weight we could have been putting on Sanderson the whole time, I think we're doing pretty good. We're striking a good balance. But yeah, if you
I don't think a single one of our videos goes by that we don't mention Brandon Sanderson.
That's fair.
Not that I'm saying we should stop, but it's clear that we're Sanderson fanboys.
Yeah.
So as it stands now with Phantology, I think myself and Ben and Josh, we're all about the same area, around like 80-ish% through. And I think Jake and Ryan, you guys have both finished, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we're not going to talk about it a whole lot yet because I don't think people really want any impressions, but do you guys like the book?
I did. Yeah.
I mean, it's a Stormlight Archive book.
Yeah.
How could you not like it?
All I'll say is it does a good job of being the book before the last book.
Oh
my gosh. Is the vocab word you're trying to come up with.
Freaking.
Well, I was going to say before the climax, and then I was like, well, probably not all of book 5 will be a climax, but knowing Sanderson, it might be. Who knows?
I mean, if you've read The Wheel of Time,
Yeah. Yeah.
So with Rhythm of War, we tuned into the release party. That was kind of fun. And he had a lot of artists on, talked for like 3 hours about the book. It was a pretty singular event in
Shards
terms
in
of
space. That was the highlight of that.
what was.
Shards in space. Weren't there like shard spaceships or
Oh
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he read from a upcoming sequel to Six of the Dust. That he's
And
playing.
shard guns.
Yeah, shard guns.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we also got the Wave King Leatherbound came out in November, and that's been fun to own. I think
Dude,
myself and
Steve,
Ryan both picked those up.
Steven,
Yep.
I saw on Twitter and Facebook that he has all the leather bounds in his shop, and it was so hard not to buy them. I I really wanted to.
Dude, just do it. In 20 years, it'll be a great investment.
But is he gonna want to sell them in 20 years? Probably not.
No,
No
you'll
way,
never
man.
want to sell them. But if you needed to, if the world was ending, you could trade it for like a bunch of Stormlight or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wish I could, but I can't right now. So
Yeah, props
Josh,
to
you
Josh
need-
for restraint.
yeah.
You need who's Steven's favorite character in Stormlight that helps Shalon buy the books for cheap?
Just Yalb.
Yeah, Josh needs a Yalb in his life. Help him get a good sneaky deal on these books.
Man, I splurged enough by getting the signed hardcover and the ebook and the audiobook. So I've splurged enough. That's
Fair.
probably about one equivalent to one leather bound book.
So somebody stole your hard
Yeah.
copy though.
Yeah, so I don't want to throw any stores under the bus, but the way that the store works is you get a bag number given to you, and then you walk back and they have a bunch of bags hanging up, and you grab your bag. And so I went to get my book, and no book is in sight, or no bag with that number is in sight. So they are going to try and find it, and if not, they're going to reach out to like try and buy another one for me through Brandon Sanderson's store because they had already sold all of theirs.
Hey,
Try and
Oof.
send it to me. Yeah.
sounds like an inside job. Who'd you order from?
Well, I don't want to throw the store under the bus.
So I bought it from the same place and I went to pick up, and I'm not gonna lie, I saw all the bags and I was like, man, it is so tempting not to just start looking through bags, find the lowest number copy, and then swap it with my own book, because there's no name or anything on the book. It's just a number. So nobody would ever know, except if somebody found me snooping through all the bags.
So is there anything to prevent someone from just grabbing 5 and walking out?
No, not really.
Maybe
Steven's
have
discovering
conscience.
the concept of shoplifting for the first time.
I'm just speculating as to what happened to Josh's
My,
book.
my guess is that somebody honestly just grabbed the wrong bag and left with mine because
Look at
it's just
Josh.
numbers.
So,
But,
but shouldn't this be a situation where there would be another numbered bag that person was
Well,
supposed to have grabbed?
they-
Similar
they-
to like if you're at an airport and somebody grabs the wrong suitcase, shouldn't there always be like another one?
Well, yeah. So there probably will be when all the copies are picked up. There probably
Oh, I
will
see.
be one left over, but there's still like 100 copies or so left that people need
So
to.
you're
pick
still
up.
waiting at the carousel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun fact, that actually happened to me one time. Somebody grabbed my suitcase and I waited until there was just one left and I called the number on it and the guy came back to the airport and we traded back suitcases. So
Well,
All right, on the heels of that fascinating story, let's talk about some other books that came out in the month of November. So I mentioned Fires of Vengeance, which is the sequel to The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. We also got The Burning God from R.F. Kuang, and that is the third in
Poppy
What
War.
is
There's
Poppy
no
War?
there's no larger series name. I don't think.
Yeah,
War.
the Poppy. Okay, same title as the first book, and that is the conclusion of that. I believe that's just a trilogy. And there was Ready Player 2 that came out, sequel obviously to Ready Player 1. So I haven't really gone into any of these yet, but I plan on reading all 3 of these books. Maybe we'll set that up in December.
yeah, I know I think we all finished reading the second Poppy War book just before Rhythm of War. Maybe
Nah,
I'm the
man.
only one that fulfilled that commitment.
I failed. I got way too far behind with other readings.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
I
We're
heard
queuing those
that
up.
one was good. I heard Fires of Vengeance was really good, but I heard Ready Player 2 wasn't good.
Yeah, that's been the chatter. I haven't peeked behind too many spoiler tags on our Discord, but that seemed to be the consensus, was that it couldn't live up to the hype of Ready Player One.
I'm definitely gonna read it, but I've read Armada by Ernest Cline, and it felt like it tried to be Ready Player One and just didn't click, and that's how I'm afraid Ready Player Two will be. Like kind of hitting the same boxes, but just not coming together as well.
So is Klein kind of like a one-hit wonder type situation?
I only know those two by him, now three, I guess, but
It's looking like it.
I mean, it was like Ready Player One was great. Armada, maybe a little bit of a flop. He goes back to try to recreate the magic of two, and then that's not great. So, yeah, maybe things are not great.
I
there.
mean, maybe it's intentionally not well done because the whole thing
What?
with sequels in the 80s, like
Nah,
can never
man.
live up to the hype of the first one. So it's kind of like a meta
Wasn't-
analysis of
wasn't Empire Strikes Back in the 80s?
Bless you, Ben.
70s.
Empire Strikes Back was 70s?
Was that the second one?
Yeah.
I
No,
will Google it.
I think
it
it was 80s
it was 80s because in that 70s show they're all excited
for the first Star
for A New
Wars.
Hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the end of the
And
70s.
1980. Okay.
okay, well,
And
there's going to be one.
That's widely recognized as like the best of a sequel.
Yeah, there's going to be an exception that proves the rule, Jake. All right, so
An exception
Alright.
that proves the rule.
Good positive thinking, Ben. There were a few TV things as well. So Mandalorian season 2 is currently is running through its weekly releases. I think there's 5 episodes out as we're recording now, and I've really enjoyed those. I think it's better than season 1. The plotline is starting to come together a little bit more, which was my criticism of season 1. And there's been some characters from other parts of Star Wars that I know fans are really excited about.
yeah, so this I'm suffering what I like to call wife watching syndrome with this, where my wife wants to watch this with me, but is also unwilling to ever watch it with me. So I'm still stuck on the first episode.
It seems like a conundrum.
Paradox.
Seems like a very easily solved conundrum.
What a great name, Ben.
Just gasp at all the right points when you're watching it for the second time. 3 months
Wife
from now.
watching syndrome.
That could also sound like something that is not that.
That's true. That was the name on the fly. Okay, I'll try and come up with a
Oh boy. All right. Any other comments on Mandalorian as we get off of that little bit
Oh,
there?
man.
I haven't
Um,
seen the most recent episode that everyone's all hyped about, so I'll be watching that one soon.
Fun story that my 3-week-old son, when my father-in-law just came into town, he was watching him during the nights, and he took the opportunity when he was helping when my son wasn't falling asleep. He took the opportunity to watch some episodes of Mandalorian season 2. So my 3-week-old son has seen more of the Mandalorian than I have.
So
Nice.
So did he
Ryan,
like
sounds
it?
like you are also suffering from wife watching syndrome.
No, I honestly lost steam in the first season. I couldn't get through it.
Oh wow.
I'm in the same boat. I made it to the episode where they're defending the village, and then
Dude, you
So
all
you
are
guys,
crazy.
you guys are all suffering from wrong opinion syndrome.
wrong opinion or too high of expectation syndrome.
Dude, my 3-year-old will sit there and watch the first episode of season 2 like on a repeat.
Are you
Okay.
trying to brag about being a
That's-
bad parent?
That's how you know it's a high quality show if a 3-year-old will watch it on repeat, I guess.
At least my son won't even remember it when he's older.
This is in the same ballpark as like Peppa Pig. Then it's like
Yeah.
high quality content.
All right. The sons of Phantology have watched more Mandalorian than actual Phantology has, clearly. Also out this month was His Dark Materials, and I'm excited for that, but I'm also just going to wait, I think, for that all to come out so I can get my week of free HBO Max access, binge it all, and then not pay for anything.
Yeah, fair.
I've watched the first episode. I haven't watched the episode 2 and 3 yet. I don't think. I think the third one. Anyway, first one was good, Steven.
And that was fun. Josh and I did a review of season 1, so we'll have to do the same thing for season 2 when it concludes.
Yeah, that I'm suffering from not having HBO syndrome for that. I got about halfway through season 1, and the person who I was leeching HBO off of, like Jake, canceled their subscription.
Oof, sounds like a jerk.
Well, the thing with that is our Amazon Prime for some reason charged my wife's card for the subscription, even
Ooh.
though it was in my name. And so we just saw this, like however much the yearly subscription is, like $130 charge from Amazon. We're like, what? So we disputed it, and then our Prime got canceled. And we're like, oh, well, why is that under her card?
Man, seriously, it was just a twist of fate that got my HBO taken away.
Well, then it was a very hard decision. Well, impossible, as you can see, for me, because my wife is paying for HBO still.
Oh,
twist of fate.
man. How the Prime gods just play games with our lives.
Seriously.
Well, if you're listening and you want to support Fantology and buy some things that our wives won't let us buy, you can do that at patreon.com/Fantology_books. And we have all of our other episodes and stuff online at www.fantologybooks.com. Realized I forgot to do our little promo, so throwing that in here now as a mid-reel. So one more TV thing, maybe Jake, you can give us some details here if you know, but Wheel of Time filming is like done almost, but not quite. And now they're filming at some castle in Spain. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah. So last I heard, like officially, they had to close production again, but
In the Czech Republic, right?
in the Czech Republic. But then it was, I think Daniel Green covered this and some other people saying they only needed what are basically some, I think, like establishing shots and things like that, which aren't very production like intensive, like
Stuff they could still do.
they
it
could
sounds
still
like.
do without like everyone needing to be there. So then it sounded like, oh, things are almost done. But now, yeah, they're filming in Spain. So I don't know what this really means in terms of when to expect it to be finished. I'm hoping.
So are you saying that there's going to be like 50% more voiceover shots than there should be? Like camera pans down as Rand narrates his home village.
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully not.
no.
Hopefully they're more like the shots just like in between scenes, like some scenery or like, I don't know, things like that. But we'll see,
So-
I guess.
In Spain, the clickbait article that I saw that I, of course, clicked on said that it was some big battle that they were filming
Yeah.
at a castle. Doesn't sound very socially distanced.
Yeah. And
Also,
then
does that sound like book 1? I don't think that really sounds like book 1 to me.
that sounds like book 2 to me, a specific
Yeah.
part, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I guess we'll
Interesting.
see.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a summer release of 2021, but every piece of news I hear makes me think it's more going to be holiday 2021.
It's a bunch of rumors right now. I don't think we've heard anything official for some time.
Yeah.
Probably because they don't know. I'm assuming that, like
Yeah.
everything, people are just kind of scrambling to get things together the best they can. So we will be patient.
Right.
So that, yeah. And
good
good news there, we don't have to pay for HBO. So
yeah. The good
Yeah.
the good thing, I was like, wait, isn't it on HBO? Brain fart. But the good thing with that is we're not going to have to deal with anything like with the Dune movie and other movies that are coming out with studios trying to decide, is it worth it to stream it or is it worth it to do a limited box office? Like it was already, like the intent is to stream it, so the actual release shouldn't be delayed by anything, like any financial reasons like that.
well, what if there's other things that they end up streaming and so it kind of like gets pushed back in the line? You know what I mean?
Nah, that's not going to happen. This is big for them.
Yeah,
That's
we
fair.
set
I
we
mean-
set our schedules around Wheel of Time.
Now that they don't have Utopia season 2 to take care of.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
man,
Never
you
read.
know
I
what?
never watched that one.
That was
Don't-
pretty good until this.
It's a waste of your time.
Okay.
All right. Any other news from the larger landscape for November? Otherwise, there's a couple of Fantology things I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, the corporate greed news. Amazon reversed their policy where you could return an audible book like
No.
within. Well, I think you can return it within 7 days, but it used to be that you could return it within a year.
Yeah.
And then any royalties that the authors got paid were just like taken, like refunded from them.
Oh.
So people like authors found out about that and were pretty upset with Amazon. I might be getting the details of this wrong, but it was a very author hostile policy.
That makes sense.
So I think that they came out with a new policy, which was you can still do return within 7 days. And I think the authors keep the royalties no matter what. I think that's the policy, but fact check me on that because I don't want to be getting that wrong. And then Disney also had a kerfuffle where they were not paying the author of some Star Wars books, of like the main kind of the foundational Star Wars books. They weren't paying them royalties either. And an argument from a Disney spokesperson, I don't know if this is official like law argument, was that they bought the rights but not the responsibilities of payment.
It was like the transfer of rights meant they didn't have to keep paying it or something.
So basically this author was getting screwed. And the commentary I heard on it was that it was a lot bigger deal than this one person, because as there's more like a kind of corporate conglomeration of all these rights, it is going to become a much bigger deal on how, the original contracts are handled. So anyway, that's just something to keep an eye on with authors.
That's interesting.
I had some news. Well, I'm going to throw it to Ryan to see if he has any takes on it since he's the expert.
Cyberpunk?
No, but
some Rothfuss news.
Yeah, Rothfuss news.
Is he tweeting still?
He came out with a video last week with major updates.
I did not see this video.
Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, you guys should go watch his video.
Why don't you tell us the major updates?
Jake, it's almost like there's a Discord where all of us talk about this type of stuff. It would have been perfect. There's even like a news channel, like a fantasy news channel that you could use.
It was a week ago.
You're saying you didn't have Discord a week ago?
I was on PTO, so computer access was limited.
Okay, Jake, just tell us the news.
Yeah. Seems like you still managed to watch the video, Jake. There's a share button.
Well, turns out the reason I'm not sharing the news is because I didn't watch it yet.
Oh!
Wow.
So I was hoping Ryan had watched it.
Okay, is this the one where he compares himself to Brandon Sanderson? Because I think I watched this one.
I don't know. It's from a week ago.
He
on
doesn't
the channel
compare himself to
the Alien. Brandon Sanderson is in the title. It says something like update, whatever.
Yeah, so I think I watched this, and it's not huge news. I think that he was saying that there's I don't want to get the details wrong, but it's not major updates at all.
All
Doors of Stone is still not coming out, or what?
You listeners should all go watch that video and learn what we're going to learn.
I don't know, man. The video sounds kind of lame.
Yeah.
All Steven thinks about when he watches Rothfuss's videos is how he should be writing.
And I just wanted to
it's not that bad.
Tradition. As Ryan said, we pretty much mention Brandon Sanderson in every video, but we also pretty much mentioned Patrick Rothfuss in every video too. So I wanted to
you stole Ryan's thunder, because usually Ryan brings up his latest adventures on Twitter.
Yeah.
He hasn't posted it on Twitter.
Ooh.
It's on his YouTube channel.
To do some positive Rothfuss news, his World Builders charity is doing a big thing over the holidays. So check that out. He does do a lot of good with a couple of charities he runs.
Yeah.
So
he does. And
Steven, you should
plug
struggling with the book. He does. He does do some good in the world. And I think you're going to ask me to plug our charity event that we're participating in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next, this is the Photology news into December in 2 weekends. So this is on December 11th and 12th. There's going to be a 24-hour stream with a bunch of content creators specifically around the Wheel of Time. And we are close enough to that where we are invited to participate. So we will be on there for an hour Friday at 10 Eastern time on 12/11, talking some Wheel of Time. We're still kind of trying to come up with our topic, but I'm liking the idea of doing some kind of mashup, like if Wheel of Time characters were Knights Radiant or some kind of battle or like individual character face-off, something like that. Because, we cover Wheel of Time, but we also cover a bunch of other books. So if we could combine the books somehow, but still be true to our Wheel of Time compatriots who are organizing this, I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, give us suggestions on our Discord, things you might want us to talk about.
We should do it.
Better.
Who wears it better, the Ways or Shadesmar?
Okay. Setting comparison. I like it.
When you said who wears it better, I instantly started thinking of all the different Spren clothing descriptions.
Oh yeah.
So maybe a fashion show, best dressed
brand.
best dressed of Shadesmar.
versus all of Matt's different outfits in Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pink ribbons, man.
Yeah, I don't know if he can beat the pink ribbons. Matt couldn't even beat it.
I was thinking more of his nice lordly coats that he gets more and more into.
His hats.
He's got one hat, I think.
Yeah, he's got at least the one. Some details around this actual event. So it's the Wheel of Time holiday charity stream, hashtag WOT a holiday, and all proceeds are going to the Lightweaver Foundation, which is the charity that the Brandon Sanderson team has set up, and Sanderson's sister actually runs. You can buy a cool Knights Radiant Christmas ornament, and that will go to that charity. And the target goal is to raise $5,000 for the charity. And our honored hosts of this event are Makier Talks and Black Tower Podcast, who are our dear friends. Jake and I attended their event, their 2-year anniversary event a couple of months ago.
Always a good time with the Black Tower Podcast.
Yeah. So shout out to those guys. Good cause. Tune in at least. It'll be a good time.
I can't wait until Pantology has our 2-year event.
Yeah,
man.
we just passed 1 year actually. We passed 1 year without a big event. So in 2 years, when COVID is hopefully over, we will do an event.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
I think the closest we've gotten was 4 of us playing the Stormlight Archive board game.
Guys, speaking of, over Thanksgiving, one of my brothers has that game. He brought it down, and 3 of my brothers have read those books, at least Way of Kings through Rhythm of War, and I could not get them to play it with me. I tried so hard. I could not. I was so disappointed.
Did they feel they weren't ready to swear their oaths and become Knights Radiant?
I think one of them wanted to play, but we wanted to play with more, and the other ones were like, well, I don't want to spend the time learning to do this. I don't know. Excuses.
Yikes.
Excuses.
Yeah.
Man.
Dude, you were down here in Arizona?
Yeah.
Dude, I would have played with you had I been
know.
here. We switched places.
Yeah. Plus the whole COVID was.
Jake's
Yeah.
gonna trade in his actual brothers for his Phantology brothers.
Oh, in a heartbeat. All my brothers who are listening, yes, you've heard it. You heard it here first.
One of my
bold.
first thoughts at the end of, this is no spoilers, at the end of Rhythm of War was just like, wow, well, now my game is very outdated.
Good point. We'll have to get the expansion.
I really hope they do that. So if you haven't played the Stormlight Archive Call to Adventure, the cards are really geared towards specific events that occur in the books and have some really nice artwork. And so Ryan's thinking, okay, now we got all these new events that we don't have cards for.
Yeah, and don't be afraid if you haven't read all the books. There's not really spoilers.
Yeah, it's like
It's
a
more-
duel or something.
Yeah, and then if you've read the part, you'll be like, oh, these are the characters it's referring to. And if you
Yeah, that's
haven't
pretty
read
well
it,
done.
it's just, oh, here's some cool artwork. So
Yeah. I will say I have a brother-in-law who loves board games, and me and Ryan tried to play this game with him. Ryan, you were there, right?
Yeah.
And he was not a fan of it. I
Well,
think
because he lost.
I think he's normally used to winning. Because normally it's like me and Ryan trying to like learn how to play his games, and this time it was like him learning how to play our games. So,
Yeah, he wasn't super enthusiastic about it. Hey, all right, update. I just found the video Jake was talking about, the Patrick Rothfuss video. It's called New. Pat Rothfuss shares latest updates, talks about George R.R. Martin, Brandon Sanderson, and more. The top comment on YouTube is, if you came here for updates on the 3rd book, there aren't any. Good video, though.
was that by him or was that just a random comment?
A random comment.
random comment.
That is a great TLDR on that video. Thank goodness for that YouTuber.
Wonder how many of the views were from people clicking on it, reading that comment. Next game.
Yeah. How many views lasted 5 seconds?
Yeah, I love
All
you,
right.
Pat.
Yeah. He's doing good stuff, but
Hey,
I
send,
guess not
send
writing
us
the
the
book.
arc of Doors of Stone. We would love to. We'd love to help you with that.
Man, we've dissed him way too much. He's not sending us an arc.
You guys have dissed him, not me. I'll get the arc.
You were literally the one who brought up the Rothfuss news for the month, Jake.
Well, the news was he had an update. That was the news.
Update, which was not an update.
It was a big, beautiful.
It was a good video though. He talked about his mental health in it. That's the main thing I remembered. Like
Okay.
in ways that he takes care of himself.
You,
So.
I don't diss Patrick Rothfuss. I just formerly dissed our favorite narrators now.
Yeah, that never happened. We retroactively took that one back. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the month of November. Hope that was entertaining to you. Let's talk about our favorite fantasy book maps. And
Wait,
let's also-
whoa.
Cyberpunk.
There was a piece of news I've been waiting to share this whole time.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna share it really quickly because I didn't get to share any news, and I feel left out.
All right, Ryan, let's go.
Man,
All right.
the news is always open for anyone, Ryan.
Okay. All right.
As long as you've watched the
Cyberpunk
YouTube video.
2077 was delayed again until December 9th. So
Of this year?
yeah.
Well, that's like 10 days from now.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it was originally supposed to come out in like March
November.
and September,
Oh,
then
yeah.
November.
December.
And people have
9th.
paid to pre-order, right? That's kind of the issue.
I don't know if they have yet, honestly. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. People are pre-ordering the
they?
game for sure. It's one of the like best sellers on Steam right now.
I doubt people are going to be really disappointed with it. I mean, it's a pretty tried and true production company or developer.
I'm probably gonna wait a couple days after it comes out, see what the reviews say about it, and then if they're positive, I'm going to buy
Yeah.
it.
It has a really it seems like it has a really cool system of like acquiring new skills and stuff like that.
Nice.
All right, sorry, we can go back to we're now moving on.
No, I do want to hear your Cyberpunk 2077 news. If you've listened to other episodes, you'll know that I'm disabled and I haven't played video games for a while, but I'm learning how to right now, actually. So I've got a setup that I'm building. So if it's worth playing, then I will figure out how to play it.
Nice.
Okay, going into our top fantasy maps. So recap of last month, we did our first ever competition with a visual component to it. So we were doing top fantasy book covers, and everyone submitted an image with their covers. We put those on Twitter poll, and Twitter scientifically determined that our winner was Tanner of Tarth. So anyone who knows where Tarth is? A little trivia for you fantasy nerds out there.
Not I.
Really? Nothing?
I don't know. It
It's
sounds
Game
like
of
a Witcher.
Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
isn't it?
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah,
Brienne
Brienne
of-
of Tarth.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
like Son of Tarth, and then I was like Tanner of
Oh,
Tarth.
duh.
Yeah, Tanner and Brienne hang out in Tarth,
Yeah.
the Sapphire Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that was embarrassing.
All right, so Tanner won with the submission of the Priory of the Orange Tree. I think that's the title. And Dune and The Gathering Storm. I think the ebook cover. So that was a fun competition because we got to see a bunch of artwork. And we are doubling down and running it back in December, except you have to submit your favorite fantasy book map. And the criteria is just highest quality map, not necessarily the world. We've already done settings. So we're talking about how visually appealing is the map. There's a bunch of fan-made maps out there, obviously. You can submit whatever image you want. So just go ahead and submit your top 3 and see how they do on Twitter. And we're going to kick it off with our top 3 and kind of prime the pump, if you will, with a bunch of suggestions. So I think, Jake, you called dibs on going first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So starting off,
What the heck am I looking at?
is it showing it?
All right, we're looking at a circle.
Dude, as a former
Okay.
pre-calc teacher, that is a radian. As a radiant
You
graph.
think so?
We're talking
Right,
about
radiant.
maps, not circles.
So this
Okay.
is a map of Arrakis, otherwise known as Dune. I like this map because it has that old parchmenty feel, but it's kind of like has like a star chart, almost sci-fi vibe to it because it's Dune. So I like the blend of the classic fantasy map with a sci-fi feel to it. Number two,
What is Mount Idaho? Seriously? Idaho got its own mountain?
Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah,
is a
Duncan,
big-
Idaho, man.
Man, I don't know anything about Dune. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, before you blaspheme his name, maybe you should take a read.
Duncan, Idaho's a character in Dune. So
And Steven has promised to read Dune.
Yeah, I promised to read Dune before the movie came out. The movie's been delayed, so I have longer to read.
All right. Next up, we have this is called Thror's map from the Hobbit.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I see some runes.
Yeah. So top three features of this map, although simplistic, number one, it was hand drawn by J.R.R. Tolkien. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I'm loving the runes, how you have these like, I don't know. It just looks it looks like a map that you would literally find in like a personal map of somebody that they just.
Yeah, someone's annotated right there on the map.
Yeah. Cool. And then
Doesn't one of the maps like have the passcode to get into somewhere just written right on it? Actually, I think that's in The Hobbit, right? Bilbo has the map and it says on the map what to say to get into the.
speak friend and enter?
No. This is in The Hobbit to get into the mountain.
Maybe.
Might have to
yeah.
reread that
Man,
one.
I haven't read The Hobbit forever.
Better than the movies.
And then the last one is this is not only one of my favorite maps in general of fantasy, but just this rendition of it. So good. I think we all know what's happening here. It'll.
Oh.
Is it
Dang,
playing?
Jake.
It's not.
This is a
Yeah.
video.
It's a map.
It's a video of a map. Wow.
Yeah,
don't
man.
I don't hear the music, but I'm imagining it.
Yeah, I don't know how to get the music go through.
I did the music.
You did. Yeah, Steven's got the.
Dun.
Anyways, I honestly I like the map on its own, but I also think it's so iconic of the show how they brought it all together with showing the map in the intro. So those are my
Yeah.
top three maps.
Cool.
Dang.
That
Can I
third
change
one,
my
man.
maps to Jake's maps?
That third one was impressive. We've never seen a video submission before. All right, who's gonna follow that up?
All right, I'll go, but it's not a great follow up. So
You don't have a video. You feel ashamed of yourself.
they're pretty basic, but it is what it is.
I can see it. It's looking great.
I can see
Luthadel?
Luthadel. Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to show
that's
us?
what I'm trying to show.
I had Luthadel in my arsenal ready to go.
Well, good thing I went before
Nice.
you. All right. Yeah. So this is Luthadel. I think it's just a really cool map. It has a lot of detail. It gives you a good idea of the city that you're working in. And Mistborn is one of the things that got me into the more epic fantasy. And this map was, obviously a part of that. So, and it's just a really, really well done map, I think, just like the actual execution of it.
Totally.
I really like the fact that it's like all dark, so it makes you think of like the soot and the mist.
Yeah.
I also never knew that there was a river running through the Dell. So probably because Ben and Kelsey would just fly over it the whole time. But
Is this in the original book, or is this in like a newly released?
I think this is,
Seems newly released to me, but I could be wrong.
At least this nice colored version. I'm guessing
Yeah.
it's probably in the leather bound. I always love these little notes on the Isaac Stewart maps too from Naz.
Is that his handwriting? Because it's
Yeah.
always the same
yeah,
handwriting.
yeah.
it's actually a fun fact about Rhythm of War. Isaac Stewart has been shouted out a few times throughout the book in it. So little Easter eggs.
Yeah, he has a little Easter egg. Sanderson, in one thing that he said in the release party that I actually didn't know was that all of Bridge 4 was based off of some of his friends.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember because Moash was named after a guy named Moshe, I think. I remember
That was
Oh.
his editor.
Oh, Moshe?
Dang, I
Yeah,
wonder
that
who
was it.
Dabbit is named after.
Yeah. Okay.
David.
Or-
Well, okay, next up.
Cool.
We'll just go Facebook friend and Sanderson. Look at all his friends.
Next.
All right. So this is the 7 satrapies, and
Oh,
I couldn't
yeah.
really find a great, like, looking at the map like this. I think the map in the book is better, but this is a good map too. No offense to the artist that made this, but I picked this kind of more for the setting because I really like in the book. This is from Lightbringer, by the way. How the map is a really big part of the plot, with Big Jasper and Little Jasper being kind of islands in the middle of it, and there's plot devices that they use to like navigate the this big old kind of sea that's in the middle of it. And so anyway, I know
The
that we're
Cerulean Sea.
yeah, I know that we're more going for like the actual maps, and Jake did a really good job of getting like cool maps, but this one was just kind of how they how the map interacted with the story as well.
It is a good setting, a very cool setting with a centralized lake, ocean. Everything else is on the outskirts. And the action takes place at the Chromeria mostly. And I like how the lettering is all rainbow colored and you have all the different colors
Yeah.
around the edges. Captures
Yeah.
the feel of the book. Yeah.
This
That
one,
looks like a board game.
I am a sucker for colored fantasy maps, as you guys will see in my selections.
the last one is a fan made map in a really cool way. So this combines like the map contributing a ton to the setting and like the actual way that the map was created is really cool.
Nintendo Life.
So this is a map of Hyrule from Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Nice.
sweet.
And for those of you that have played Breath of the Wild, it's an amazing game. But this map is specifically like it's what do you call it when you can see the
Topographical.
yeah,
Yeah.
topographical map,
Mm-hmm.
and it's made out of wood pieces that are like cut and built on top of each other out of like
This is very
actual
impressive.
wood
That's way
pieces.
cool.
Does
So-
it mark the location of all of the Korok seeds?
All
I
900.
did in my research. I did find a map that marked the location of all of them.
To make this perfect, you would also have to track your character's movement through the entire world and draw it as a line across.
Yeah,
the map.
there's another map that did that is also really cool.
This reminds me of the map ability that Dalinar and Shalon
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
in Stormlight.
Spoiler.
Yeah. No, I said it vague enough.
Anyway.
I'll let that pass.
So yeah, that's my third and best.
I love how
map.
he even made a little legend on the bottom left.
Oh yeah, I
That's
mean
awesome.
he went all out, and
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, all right, those are my 3 maps.
Okay.
Should
All
we
right,
have, like,
Ryan.
there you
I
go.
think we need you to follow that up.
All right, my picks are super vanilla. Just so you guys know, in order to prepare you guys. All right, so for my first vanilla pick, it is going to be these beautiful maps of both Shadesmar and Roshar. These are remade by this guy Stoneward 13 on 17th Shard. It's just like I said, I'm a sucker for colored maps, and I think it's done very well with the font, and it's just easy to tell where things are. Some maps, it's just really hard to find individual places, but I feel like there's not too much happening on this map where it's a good overview. I think it's fine if you do like smaller maps that have a lot more in depth, but this is just a good overview of the world, and so it's easy to find things, figure out where places are that people are talking about.
Fun fact, I have that top map set as my desktop background right now. So as I'm reading, I can really get into the mood of the book.
Nice.
Know where I am.
Nice. All right, so my next map is going to be the World of Ice and Fire. This map I got from a guy or online. Obviously, it was commissioned for his name's Jonathan Roberts, and it was commissioned for one of the like World and Ice and Fire illustrated editions.
Yeah, I think this is in the Folio Society edition.
Yeah, and actually, I was thinking about that because I was like a little bit ago, I was over at Steven's house looking at his Folio Society edition, and I saw the map, and it was just so well done that I instantly thought of that when I thought of some of the best maps of the world. And I mean, so much of A Song of Ice and Fire takes place on Westeros, which when you actually look at a map, it's such a small, I mean, it's like a quarter of the entire world.
Mhm.
And so it just gives you a sense of how large the world is, how small events actually are. And maybe we'll see more. Probably. I don't know. Maybe George R. R. Martin will come out with the next 2 books, and then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna write another series and do it too."
And that
probably
is some
not.
optimistic thinking there.
And my last selection is going to be another very epic fantasy world, which is the Witcher 3 map. And it's just cool because you can experience The Witcher 3 in so many different ways, because you can play the video game. I mean, I remember looking at the map so much. You just have such large surface area to explore in the video game. You can read the books, and now you can watch a TV show. It's just an incredible world to explore. This map I found it through a Reddit user named Obanon, Obanon, to give credit. And ignore that inappropriate image in the bottom right.
Yeah,
And
Phantology TVMA.
If you've watched The Witcher, you've seen worse than that.
So anyways, those are my 3 picks. Very vanilla, like I said, but Roshar, Song of Ice and Fire, Witcher 3. 3 of my top picks.
Nice. All right. I don't want to be the last one because I am also not very confident in my picks. So I'll let Steven be the last one.
All right.
But here's the
bring it
thing.
on.
I kind of misunderstood. I was more going for how well the maps expanded the world. And so I'm just going to stick with that. I mean,
Okay.
like,
You can choose whichever criteria you want, man.
Okay, I put the Pokemon world when we did settings
yeah,
That was illegal.
clearly-
because I thought it was worlds I'd want to live in.
Man, that inspired so many people to take artistic liberties. Okay. So
That's right, Twitter. We're cracking down this time. No entries that are against the rules.
No liberties.
okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this, can anybody guess what this is a map of?
I can guess because
Elantris.
it says.
Oh, son of a gun. See more about Elantris. Okay, it's a map of Elantris. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is a cool map. And if you actually look on, I was looking at Steven's Leatherbound on the picture he posted on Discord, and you can like not
Say
the
on?
insignia, but like the well, that's like what's embroidered. It's not embroidered on the book. It's like embossed.
Stamped right on
Embossed?
there. Embossed. Yeah. good word.
Embossed. There's like a symbol that is embossed on the book that this map also has incorporated into it. And so anyway, it's just really cool. And yeah, it's a fun map that helps the setting.
Yeah, Sanderson
Okay.
is very into the actual like geometry of some of his settings and symbols.
Yeah, and I brought up the fact that I didn't know that Luthadel had a river through it because Elantris also has river through it.
Well, a lot of cities were founded on rivers
Right.
because of trade. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
That city appears to run underneath Elantris. Is that true? I don't remember enough of the book.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I guess
couldn't
we'll
remember.
we'll probably assume that the map is accurate.
I feel like the Elantris map also ties into the book a bit more than typical fantasy maps.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of clues there.
Lots of clues. Okay, so then I'm gonna go with the Marauders map as a great in-world map, and also like it's just expanded the world so much. It's still one of my favorite parts of Harry Potter.
didn't somebody
And
else do? Didn't Jake do the Marauders map?
no way, man.
No.
Jake was Game of Thrones, Middle Earth, and
Dune. Marauders
Dune.
map has been entered in, I think, top fantasy artifacts in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
awesome. I still like to this day remember when I was reading Prisoner of Azkaban, and spoiler alert, Harry wants to go to Hogsmeade but can't, and then Fred and George are like, you know what, we got to give this to him. They put him in the hump witch lady statue, give him the map, and say, have at it.
I just think it's so funny in Harry Potter because most of the biggest prizes in the wizarding world are given to Harry so that he can do like really minor things.
Yeah.
Dumbledore's like, here's an invisibility cloak. It also happens to be a Deathly Hollow.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give it to you so you can sneak around.
Use
Go in the
wisely.
forbidden, so you can go in the forbidden section of a library.
Yeah. You can sneak into like the Mirror of Erised and just look at that for nights on end.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so it's awesome. Okay, now the third one. I'm actually having to use my Kindle right now. It's also. Can anybody guess what this is going to be?
Hmm.
Knowing
Something
that
on
I'm
your
logging-
Kindle.
Okay, so
Something
here we
only
go.
on the Kindle.
So there are two things. I can decide between these two, so I'll have to just make one of them an honorable mention. But so this is a map of Shadesmar that, or at least part of Shadesmar that Shalon drew. And I really liked this because it gave you a really clear direction of where they're going, like where they're starting and where they're heading to. And I thought that I'm not finished with this book yet, but I think that one of the best parts of it is how the artwork interacts with the settings described in the book and how it really expands your vision of what's going on. So this is an awesome map. Now, I think second to that,
I love also on
is-
this little map, like the little footnote entries in, next to where it says perpetual sobriety. It says also perpetually boring. Things like
yeah,
that.
she's super. It's classic Shalon. I didn't think you would find that funny, Stephen, because
Is that
kind
Shalon,
of
or isn't it just like Naz making the map?
Well, no,
Oh.
'cause this is from Shalon's sketchbook, isn't it? Maybe not.
No, Shalon's sketchbooks are the spread.
That's true. That's true. I don't know.
okay. Then I'm gonna say this sketch of Year Thero was super cool.
This
Both
is
of
super
these,
helpful
like,
as well.
I really like this
Yeah.
cross section, just super cool. Again, I think I'm gonna put this as my top map because it really gave you a good idea of what you're reading. And I thought that honestly, I wish we would have had this during Oathbringer because it helped you envision this
Scope and everything.
the scope. And like there's like a picture of a chasm fiend in this first one to give you a sense of scale. It's just so good. I really enjoyed it.
Having listened to the book, it was really fun afterwards to just Google all the images I could find from the actual like
I think it's
physical
on his
copy.
website too. You don't
Is
necessarily
it?
have to Google around. Yeah, he's got it somewhere.
Well, I just went to Coppermind right away, and it was really fun seeing these. I'm like, man, I wish I could have, like, this would have been really cool for like a lot of parts in the book for reference.
Yeah. So to kind of tie in, Rhythm of War that we spent so much time talking about already. But yeah, I think that those two maps, but specifically the map of Year Thero, has got to be up there and one of the top maps in fantasy right now.
All right, it's my turn. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to throw up some Zoom backgrounds because I think that's fun. Okay, so my first one is this.
Wow.
Yeah, this depiction of Randland. And I like the regular map, but I kind of like this one because it shows you things, a little simplified. And it's got all the flags of different nations in their different areas. And the art's really nice and it just kind of pops right out there. I'll have to go on and figure out who actually made this. I think I just found this on Reddit or on Google Images or something.
It
It's
looks
pretty-
so cozy.
It's pretty cool that the artist depicted a moving image of you on top of it.
Nice.
That's right. That's right. All right.
It looks like it could have been like quilted almost. It's like textured that way. I would
I just
definitely
wanna
cuddle up
touch it.
to a Randland map quilt while reading.
Josh is like, don't touch my textured maps right now. All right.
We're coming
Yeah.
after Josh's Zelda map. All right, my second map. This is actually a series of map. This is actually a series of maps, and these are the maps in The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. And these are cool because of the importance to the actual plot of the book. And The Heroes is all about one battle. And as you can see on these maps, you get a depiction of the different troop placements. And it really helps you visualize what's going on, the way that the troops move around, and just kind of adds a lot to the story. Sometimes I have trouble visualizing these larger movements. Like authors do their best to tell you where things are, but it's nice to see things like this. So even though this one is black and white, it still looks quite nice. And Joe Abercrombie doesn't have a lot of maps in his books, actually. I think I entered a cover from The Heroes as well. So I'm trying my best to be our Abercrombie fanboy.
I really want to get into those.
Dude, they're
Nothing's
good.
stopping you, man. Nothing is stopping you.
Well, the stand is stopping me right now.
Oh dang! Yeah, I gotta get back into that one.
Dude, you
I
guys want to
started
hear?
over. I started over. It'd been too long since I had read the first half.
You started over. Oh man.
Come on, Jake.
Well, I started reading it again, and I was like, there are
Uh,
so many people in this. I need to restart. Plus, like I said, I'm not really good at listening. It takes me a bit.
Back when COVID started, Josh and Jake were gonna read the stand, get on top of the current trend, this little COVID thing.
wouldn't it be cool if we got the COVID wave?
Hey, but now
Not-
they're making a series, so we're still writing.
Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah.
it's perfect timing. Josh and
Looks
I
like
planned
other
this.
people had the same ideas.
We had insider information.
Like, hey, Stephen
People-
King does pretty well.
People have produced a whole television
Oh,
series in
cool.
the time it's taken us. Okay, so
Ooh.
here's my last map. So this is of the Cosmere. This is in Arcanum Unbounded. And I guess
Dang.
I would need to move out of the way to see everything. But these are different constellations, and here you have different planetary systems, right? So you can see Scadrial and Roshar and Nalthus. And what is that? Taldane over here. It's probably some
Can
behind
you
me as
maybe
well.
share it without the entire map so that we could see that? I'm really interested by this.
Yeah.
Mm,
Was this is from Arcanum Unbounded, you said?
this is an Arcanum Unbounded, yes.
Yeah. I need to look through that again. So in Mistborn, they mentioned the red patches stars in the sky, right? Because they didn't have a moon. They just had those, which are also shown there as the dragon. Are they mentioned in any other books? Are they mentioned in Stormlight?
I don't know. Roshar's pretty far away.
Well, I mean, it all just depends on your perspective, right?
Jake's like, are you going through Shadesmar or are you going on a shard ship?
Well, no, I just mean like space is a 3D space. So this is a flat image from one planet's perspective,
Haha, here we go. 10 minutes later. Okay. So this is maybe what you were
Cool.
referring to, Jake, the scar.
Yeah, the scar. So
Red.
those that like red patch of stars is mentioned, I think at least on Scadrial and I think another planet as well.
I wonder if the distance between these matters.
Huh.
Like Nalthus and Cell are very close to each
But that's
other.
that's
Roshar's just in
like
one
they're-
dimension.
Yeah, it's just a one dimension. Like you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really cool how these characters that are in here really depict the characters in the books that they're representing.
Yeah.
Right,
Is-
like Roshar, you have like a shard bearer. On Threnody, that's Warbreaker, right? Is Threnody?
No.
Nope. Threnody
Mouth
is
is Threnody.
Shadows for
Shadows for
Silence in the Forest.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Short
Then-
story.
Taldane is White Sand.
And
Cell is a lamp. That's interesting.
Is Nalthus Warbreaker?
Yes.
Do we know if this is canon?
So that's like a breath.
It's in the Arcanum
Oh, right,
Unbounded,
right,
so
right,
yes.
right. Yeah. So yeah.
Dang, that's a cool map, Steven. Props.
All right. I clearly won.
I don't know Game of Thrones. Jake,
Yeah,
still.
Game of Thrones just YouTube video.
Yeah.
I can okay. Can I just say I can't believe nobody did the interactive map of Roshar.
We missed our opportunity.
To
Well,
be
you
honest,
can enter that on Twitter if you'd like.
To be honest, until I thought of the YouTube video intro for the TV show, I was thinking of just maps you would find like in the like front of a book. I was not thinking outside the box as much as I should have.
Jake was thinking inside the covers of the book.
Yeah.
So that is encouraged. And if you want to enter into our contest, we do this every month. This month, just tweet us. We'll send out a tweet to get this all started. But go ahead and DM us your submissions, shoot me an image, and I will put that together. You'll be entered into a bracket, and Twitter will determine the winner. It's a very scientific process that is never wrong. And last month we had a nice top 3 book covers. This month we're going to have our ultimate fantasy map. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with.
Yeah. And I will say last month with the winner, like the first book in his pick was like a book that nobody had really heard of, right? Or at least I had. None of us had.
No, I'd heard
And
of
so-
it. It's pretty big.
really?
I think last year.
Okay. Well, people did a really good job of judging the book by its cover. So
Yeah, typically we don't encourage that. We did encourage it in the month of November. This month, we're encouraging you to judge a book by its map, I guess.
Just judge a map by its map.
Cool. Well, if you like Phantology and you want to hear more from us, you can do that at www.phantologybooks.com. Our full catalog is out there. And if you want to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/phantology_books. And please tune in to the Wheel of Time holiday stream over the 11th and 12th of December, with all proceeds going to the Lightweaver Foundation. And let us know what you'd like us to talk about.
awesome. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
It was fun.
See you guys next time.